Dr. Nick here with Tara-lyn, the owner of the studio in Wayne. She's a Pilates instructor and she also owns Tara-lyn Pilates, and they also have an office in Montville. We're just going to discuss all about Pilates and how she got started and everything from there and in between. So this is Tara-lyn. Nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Tara-lyn Pilates. Sometimes I almost say Tara-lyn Pilates out loud because it's been, it's like, you know, focus when you love something, you're always thinking about it. But so I'm originally from Morris County, New Jersey. I have a family of teenage kids, a husband. We live in Rockaway, and I started doing Pilates about 25 years ago. Got certified about 20 years ago, and yeah, I opened the studio in Montville about 4 years ago, and then we just branched out to Wayne, which I'm really excited. So
That's great.
Yeah.
What led you to get certified in Pilates in the first place?
So it's kind of a funny, everyone has like windy roads, right? So I was actually a TV producer originally for TBS Superstation in Atlanta, and when I moved back up here, I worked for a small production house. Well, I started taking Pilates because I was also a dance major, and I loved it. It made me feel really powerful. It made me feel like I could move well. It kind of gave me that same skill building feeling that dance did.
Okay.
A lot of people compare Pilates to dance because of that, but it's not just for dancers.
Yeah,
but it's not. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to go off on like a little tangent, and I'll bring it back. Joseph Pilates was not a dancer. He was like a boxer and a tough guy, and he was, if you look at archival videos of him working with people, he's pushing them. It probably would be a physical therapy's worst nightmare to see like the manipulate, like the really tough manipulation. Was not at all, you know, it became a little bit more about Balanchine, and at the time Romana joined with him and became one of his teachers. And they used it to train dancers to prevent injuries. So it kind of got that rap in New York City at that time, in the heyday of the New York City Ballet and whatnot. But that being said, he worked with everybody. So me, though, being a dancer, was exposed to it because I took classes at the Atlanta Ballet when I lived down there. And I took to it because it was something you really had to think when you were. I loved working out. I, you know, ran. I lifted weights. I became a personal trainer at one point in between, but so what got me into it is just to have something where you could build your skills, stay healthy, and once I moved back up here, I found an instructor in Waldwick named Pam DeJohn, and then another instructor, Kathy Ross Nash, who are mentors, you know, till this day. And I just felt like I had no pain, I had no discomfort. Of course I was young, but I got the strongest I'd ever been, and I also had really mobility, but like a strong supported mobility that I never felt as a dancer. It was kind of funny because as dancers you're trying to always like overextend, and I was like, oh, this is what this is supposed to feel like. And so I decided I wanted to really get certified and leave the TV industry completely. It was like a huge change. So I did that, and I started working in the city. At a lot of the big time places that I didn't actually really wrap my brain around. Was like a moment in time that gave me so many advantages in this industry of meeting people and learning new things. So that was kind of, it was like one of those, I'm gonna do this instead of that. And everyone was like, what? You didn't go to college for that? And I'm like, I don't care.
You found your passion.
Found my passion,
That's awesome. I know everyone thinks dancers and stuff like that, but the more and more I learn about Pilates through you and other things, it's like, wow, it's really not only for dancers.
It's applicable to everybody, which is kind of why it makes it so cryptic to explain.
Exactly.
You know,
you have to really go into the past of it and all that stuff, and there's a lot to it. It's not really, it's not very straightforward. That's for sure.
Right.
Awesome. That's great. So, like you said, you completely switched and all that stuff, which is amazing, and I love hearing those stories of people going from this to like, I found my passion, I'm running with it. Now, what made you want to open up your own studio?
So it's funny because people in the industry, and the Pilates industry is really expansive. It's international, and those that are really intertwined in the web kind of know people in California, like I do, you know, everywhere. People who know me actually ask, what made you wait so long to open a studio? Because a lot of instructors would like get certified and open a studio. The only reason why I didn't is because right after I got certified and I was working in the city, well, probably not the only reason, but the path that I took.
Yeah.
I got pregnant with my daughter.
Yeah, that's
And I kind of decided that I wanted to have this flexible schedule, so I knew being a business owner would not be that.
Yeah.
Having been in sort of the marketing promotions type thing in the past. So I just kind of built my schedule like at this place in New York. We lived in Jersey City at the time. Then in Jersey City, I ramped up a program at one of the big time gyms there called Club H Fitness. And so I had a lot of opportunities at my fingertips that didn't require a brick and mortar.
Okay.
And I just thought to myself, you know, I really want to be in it with the kids.
Yeah.
I kind of want to have that really good life balance.
Yeah.
I've always been very much about trying to maintain a balance. It doesn't always happen.
Yes.
Obviously today is one of those days it didn't,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I was a little late to the interview, I'll admit it. But anyway, so I got pregnant with my daughter, had her, kind of would work at night when my husband was home, and we just kind of juggled the family thing for quite a few years. Had my son a couple years after that. And then finally when they started to like go do things with friends as like preteens, I got to thinking, what the heck am I gonna really do when they're off, right?
True, that makes sense,
So of course life can't be simple. I opened a studio.
There we go, perfect.
I opened a business, yeah.
Makes sense. That work-life balance, everyone always says, is kind of hard to find. Yes, as you know, as a business owner, it's 24/7. Even when you say today's my off day, I'm going to relax, somehow you're not relaxing. It's just how it is. So good timing. And that's great that, like you said, in New York, you made a lot of connection, all that stuff. And starting things from scratch in there definitely probably helped with, I can imagine, with opening your studio and kind of getting your vision of what you wanted.
And I didn't realize at the time that, and I'm also a firm believer, and I would think you probably see eye to eye with this, I'm just assuming because of your, the way that you approach things and with yoga and things like that, that it was sort of, if you open yourself up to what's you're going to receive, that's what you're ready for at the time, you will, if you really listen to that voice, you will go with what you're supposed to do and not overdo it and not underdo it. It's kind of like if you really open yourself up and really just let, and it's hard to do. But so I didn't realize consciously at the time, but now looking back, I have more experience now with everything that you need to run a business, and I also have the humility that middle age brings. Not to say that people that start out young aren't, but like for me personally, to have raised kids up to a certain point and had this flexible career and really just taking in everything, learning from the people I'm with, gave me a lot of skill sets that I wouldn't have had if I opened it at 27 years old.
Oh, sure.
Right? So it's really, I look back, I'm like, wow, that happened at perfect timing. Right?
They always say the universe gives you what you need at that time and stuff like that.
If you listen.
Yes, exactly. If you open up to it and let go of control a little bit, which is very hard for us to do.
For me.
Very, very hard to let go of that control and stuff like that. So in both your studios, what type of people do you help? Is Pilates for everybody? Do you have specific classes for different age ranges and all that stuff?
So we have, the answer is yes and yes, but Pilates is for everybody. And instead of, we do have certain special classes, but instead of focusing on like we'll more do special workshops. But we keep our class sizes purposefully small, and we are very in tune to the people that come to us, meaning like we get to know them. It's not an in and out, I'm working out and I forget about you, you forget about me. The introduction part is very much like, well, what do you need? Because this is what we can help you with. What do you need? And then we guide them. We have like classes on our schedule that are like some mat Pilates all level. Reformer all level right now, especially with Wayne being the new place, because really how I look at it is, even if you've done Pilates somewhere else or you've been in the fitness industry, you're still new here to the way that this connection and this partnership is going to go. So everyone's really coming in all level. That being said, the moment that you walk in the door, our instructors are looking and looking at how you walk and how you sit down and how you look me in the eye and how you pick up something, so that they're knowing already from the moment they see you move how to tailor the session. So it's a method of exercises.
Yeah.
Every class
Yep.
is.
Yeah.
And that's why it always cracks me up. And getting more calls for this space since it's new, I'm
Yeah.
gonna call some, you know, some not people out, but
Yeah.
I really just want reformer classes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Reformer's cool looking. Look at it. It's like a metal carriage, springs.
Yep.
It's not about the reformer.
Yeah.
I don't like machines. I just want mat.
Yeah.
Not about the mat. The mat is an apparatus, actually.
Yeah.
Even though there's no spring. Well, this one has springs, but like you're laying on it. It's about the method of exercises that are taught in a very intentional,
Yeah.
threaded way
Mhm.
that works for everybody. And the difference about it is when the person walks in the door, or people
Yeah.
or instructors, whether you know it or not, are eyeing you up and making sure they're giving you what you need that day.
Yeah.
Tuesday could be different than Thursday. You
Yeah.
could take a class Tuesday, Thursday come in, it's your body, but you
Yeah.
might have been up late the night before. You might have not slept. You
Mhm.
might, you know, so it's really tailored to the person it's very much about presence and being there at the moment. Now, that
Yeah.
helps us cater to special populations.
Okay.
That sort of I started there.
Yeah, yeah.
We do have a class that we volunteer teach,
Okay.
and we partner with a Summit Medical Group Foundation for cancer patients.
Awesome.
And it's cleared for patients that are during treatment, like they're going
Wow.
through chemotherapy,
Awesome.
they've had surgeries, their doctors have signed off on it.
Oh, perfect.
So we do things like that. We do youth clinics
Yep.
for preventing injury, for getting more flexibility. Like we do have certain themes,
Awesome.
but it just depends on kind of like, we're trying to predict what people are needing,
Yeah.
and then we're helping to bring them in because of that. But really, Pilates is Pilates is Pilates is Pilates,
Yeah.
same thing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Like, yeah,
It can apply to
yeah.
everything, so.
That's why it's so hard to like market and explain.
Yeah, it really can. And like
Yes.
you said, it's some people want the reform, or some people want the thing.
Yes.
People want certain things and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it's like it's the methodology you're looking for.
Yes.
That's what it is. But those things are cool. But like the
And
methodology is what they're coming for. Right?
They're helping you. So people also like mistake the
Mhm.
springs for like making things harder, or
Yeah.
they're just giving you feedback.
Mhm.
So some things might feel easier with the spring load
Yeah.
because it's giving your body in free space with no closed chain. You might not know how to do that exercise,
Yeah. Yep.
but in that spring load,
Mhm.
and the instructor also knows. So this is a huge thing because I'm so proud of my team and
Yeah.
like where I come from and the people I learned from.
Mhm.
They know, like as soon as you put something on, that needs to be lower because I
Yeah.
can see you're not getting the most out of it. It's not because it's easier or harder, it's
Yeah.
because it's feedback. Like
Yep.
the reformer, if you think about your shoulders are up against blocks, your head is on a headrest, your arms are in straps, your feet are on a foot bar,
Yeah.
your brain is going, probably at first,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but then you actually become part of it.
Yep.
When you, like I lay down to work out,
Mhm.
I lay down, oh thank God I'm on this.
Yeah.
I'm part of it, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's
Flows through you.
how's that for like some really
Right.
loopy, like Pilates stuff? Yeah.
But it makes sense because of feedback and all that stuff and stability, not stability. I'm sure you get people asking you all the time like, oh, the spring was too light or
Yeah.
whatever. And you're like, that's
Yeah.
not the point. We're
Yeah.
trying to. It's to give you feedback and stuff.
And
so that's great.
if in my young teaching days I would sugarcoat it and just
Yeah.
let them feel it, and now I'm like, missing the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Just listen to me and do what I'm telling you,
Yeah.
and don't do anything I'm not telling you to do, because that's another thing.
Yeah.
Because haphazard movement ruins like everything. So,
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Awesome, that's great. And I'm glad it applies to everybody and all that stuff. So you kind of led down this path a little bit, but you may change it a little bit.
Sure.
What's the number one misconception you would say about Pilates? So you said it was with the dancers, but I don't know if that's truly the number one.
That's probably not the number one,
Okay.
because like, I don't know, some people might have everyone's got their like preconceived notions of everything. You know,
Yeah.
some people think that it's just middle-aged women stretching.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Some people think it's, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So I would say the number one misconception with Pilates is it's not a misconception because it's true, but it's a short-sighted view of it, that it's
Okay.
for core strength.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's full body all the time,
Mhm.
period.
Yep.
Now, we can't really get that until we understand we call it the Powerhouse, because core seems a little bit like superficial
Mhm.
to a lot of like very old school Pilates people.
Yeah.
I use it because people understand what it means.
Yeah.
But Powerhouse is basically the area from your hips
Mhm.
to your shoulders, basically everything but your arms and your legs.
Okay.
And to harness the deep strength that surrounds your spine within your torso,
Yep.
which kind of makes sense because everything and anything that's important in our bodies
Yeah.
is housed there.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and,
Organs,
and then,
everything.
yeah, exactly. So like, it's learning to move first from that deep strength
Mhm.
outward, and the constant balance between rooting and reaching, the
Yep.
constant balance between finding more length and feeling more depth.
Mhm.
You know, so I think probably like the biggest misconception in the general population is like, I want to get stronger in my abs, so I'm
Yeah.
going to take Pilates.
Yeah.
Like, if you just work on your abs, you know,
Yeah.
you're going to be overtrained in your abs,
Yeah.
and you're going to be rounded all the time, and you're not going to have a movable spine.
Yeah.
So it's really about balance and full body. So yeah.
I've heard the Powerhouse before and all that
Yeah.
stuff, so
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. It's great because you want to, like you said, have a movable spine. You want to be strong in all motions, so the balance
Yeah.
between reaching and stability and all that is huge because we're not robots.
Yeah, we're not robots, and we're continually changing,
Exactly.
evolving, and moving.
Yep, and always, no matter what, something so minuscule, it can be a huge movement to your body and you may not even realize it, which
Yes.
is amazing. That's great. So what about, if you had to give 3 suggestions for somebody who's new to Pilates, just starting out, what would you say your 3 suggestions are?
Okay, so when you're searching up, when you're Googling,
Yes.
right? We're just talking about Googling,
Yeah.
and you're looking at teachers' bios or studios' bios, make sure that there is terminology that they are comprehensively certified.
Okay.
With a comprehensive certification, usually of at least 600 apprentice hours,
Okay.
and usually there's like 3 or 4 week-long seminars, if not more.
Mhm.
Every training program is different. I'm not one to disparage one and,
Yeah.
and say like, come to mine, even though
Yeah.
you know, I should say it's the best. It's so great. It is. But like, I'm not. We are encouraging at my studio. Our culture is very try to inspire and be positive. So I don't, you know. So when you're looking, make sure that that's the case, and make sure that the classes and is a smaller group.
Okay.
I really do think, and there's a very big benefit to the more mass Pilates that's happening because it's educating people about Pilates.
Yeah.
But I really do think, and people will probably be offended if I say this, but I'm going to say it in a very diplomatic way.
Yeah.
It's from my experience and from seeing that there is a lot of the method that gets watered down and missed
Okay.
when it's too big of a group and you're restricted in how you can teach it.
Yeah.
And I know that because I have teachers that have worked all different places, and so have I.
Yeah.
So I really find that that intentional movement and that methodology has to be intact. So it's hard for someone who doesn't know. You only know what you know, right?
Yeah.
So the last thing about that question is listen to yourself and your body. If you're doing something that doesn't feel right, follow your instinct, because chances are, like, you should know most about your body, and some people don't. But if you really learn to harness that tool, you'll be able to find the places that give you what you need in terms of fitness and health and wellness and kind of that partnership. So that's what I say. So comprehensive learning, be wary of class size, and really listen to your own body and what it's telling you.
Perfect. That's great. I mean, all things you should look for anyway, especially the body part.
Yeah.
You know, I'm huge on that, where I just want to
Of course you are.
Yeah.
It's your job.
Your body, exactly, right? But I always tell people, you know your body better than I do. And just like everybody else, everybody knows their body better than I do.
Yeah.
But it's just how it is.
Yeah.
You're inside you 24/7.
Right.
I'm with you for an hour.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of that parallel to that term, give a man a fish and he eats for a day, teach a man to fish and he eats for the rest of his life.
Exactly.
So we just like, it sounds like totally aligned, and most physical therapists are, is like, teach you how to take care of your body. That's a gift that we can try to give you with your, the partnership that we have, so that you know what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing.
Yes.
You shouldn't always have to depend on me. I mean, like a mom, if I'm doing my job, they should be able to leave the nest.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah,
and I love how you use the term partnership between you and your clients and stuff like that, because it is a partnership. And that's a great way to put it. I'm not just standing up there telling you what to do.
Right.
We're working together, and it is a partnership.
Right.
That's a wonderful terminology to use with all your clients and everybody that comes in through the doors and stuff.
Yeah.
So Tara-lyn, so if people want to find more about you, where can they go? Your website?
Yeah, so our website, Tara-lyn Pilates.com, has we have an intro page, we have a price page, a schedule page. The scheduling page has the location on the right, whether the classes are in. You can book online. You can call. I love having a conversation with people before they book online because I feel like it helps me help them feel less overwhelmed and intimidated and pick what's right for them. That moment of empowering starts right from the first phone call. You can stop in. We're like, I feel like I've known you forever, right? Like, just like, hey, stop in and see us. Although our classes and privates are by appointment, like you have to reserve your class because we keep them small. I love stop-ins to just come and get a business card at Wayne 61 Verdun Ave. The Montville location is 321 Change Bridge Road in the Pinebrook section. And the phone number's up there. Shoot me an email. I'm trying not to be on my phone all the time, but I see the emails pop up and I try to respond really well. So it's pretty, and Google, right? Google us, find out where we are.
Perfect, awesome, that's great. Instagram,
oh, how did I not? It's like still not my wheelhouse, even though we post a lot. Instagram handle is Tara-lyn Pilates.
Awesome.
Facebook is also Tara-lyn Pilates.
Awesome.
And we do have Twitter. We don't really use it that much because I feel like I like the visuals. And LinkedIn and all that we have. And we just got a Pinterest page because I feel like it's kind of fun to put like just nice little visuals about Pilates. But
that's cool. I'm not a big Pinterester, so I don't even read that.
I'm a huge recipe person. Like that's how I look at recipes on Pinterest because I love the pretty pictures and that will be what. So I figured if I like recipes and I'll pick this over the next because of the picture, maybe if we put some cool pictures up there, who knows? Just trying to get the word out there.
That's awesome. That's great.
Thank you for reminding me about the social handles because I always forget that part.
So do I. It's not always in my wheelhouse right away to think about and all that stuff. But thank you for letting me interview you. This has been great. Pilates always sounds amazing to me. The more and more I learn about it, obviously you're very passionate about it.
You think?
Well, I hope so. You have 2 locations and all that stuff. So thank you again. It's been great. And I'll be sure to make sure I tag the Instagram handle and your website on the bottom of this video and all that stuff. So thank you again.
Thank you so much.